Hello, friends. This is Frank Boomer with you. On this episode, we have taken some excerpts from my 2 to 3 hour interview I had with a young woman named Melanie, who channels Robert E. Lee and other high-ranking Confederate generals. She loves the Confederacy. She tends to a Confederate graveyard near her home where 20 Confederate soldiers are buried. She does this out of love and passion. Her home is full of artifacts from the Civil War. She has a piano that is considered an antique. She ought to tell you the details of the piano, but in short, she's a very unusual young woman, and she has some psychic ability that she probably isn't aware of. I do know that she used this ability to help locate a missing person in the area, and she took the authorities exactly where this person was. He was missing for 3 weeks as a missing person. And she said she had a vision, and she led the police exactly to where his remains were. No need to divulge any more details, but she has this ability. I just wanted to state that before you listen to some of the excerpts. While we were doing this particular interview, the energy in the room did all kind of things to the microphone. It was really difficult to edit, to get the sound to stay stable. We did everything right, but there was just some wild variations in those sound waves. And so I've tried to take some of the pieces of the interview, because no one really wants to spend 3 hours listening to an interview, but there's some pieces that are really profound. And if you care about America, you care about the Civil War, maybe you are a reenactment kind of person, you could certainly want to listen to this podcast. And again, I know you may not have 3 hours to invest in it, so I've selected some portions where Melanie was intensely giving me the vibe of Robert E. Lee. And I conducted the interview as if I were speaking to the general, and he responded just like you would expect a general of the Confederate Army, of the Army of Northern Virginia, to respond. So, if you don't buy into channeling, that's fine. I do. And if you have any interest in the subject, I'm offering you this tidbit, and I hope you enjoy it. Are you creative enough to make your own podcast? If so, try Anchor. It's the best way to build your own podcast. Anchor provides creation tools you need. You can edit from your own phone or computer, and Anchor will take care of all the distribution. They will put your podcast in all the platforms, places like Apple and Spotify and more. You can make money no matter how many listeners. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Frank Boomer, I promised you a show about Robert E. Lee. I think I made some posts about that, some plugs, because I was so confident that I would get that interview with Robert E. Lee that I told the world about it before I got him. But he's here right now. She's here. He's here. It doesn't matter. There is no genders. You know, the Bolsheviks. A person on the phone named Melanie, who did a show with us recently about the Civil War and all kind of things. I know you listened to it. And if you hear this before you actually listen to that wonderful show, Melanie, the star, Xenia Warrior, Scarlett O'Hara, call her what you will. Tonight, we're going to call her Robert E. Lee. Melanie.
Yes, sir.
Are you channeling Robert E. Lee tonight for the audience? They really want to hear that because I promised them that you do this all the time.
Oh, gosh. Well, I've got him sitting right next to me right now. And actually, I feel kind of shortness of breath right now. So I believe he's here. Yeah.
So he's coming in the room. Robert E. Lee. Good evening, General. I wouldn't know how to address Robert E. Lee, but if he walked into the room, I guarantee you he would command my respect. And so, General, welcome to the program. And we mean that sincerely. Please feel free to speak your mind.
Thank you,
sir.
General, all right.
Are you happy?
Yes.
Are you happy with America right now?
No.
Are you happy with the South right now?
No.
Did you think there would still be a North and a South almost 150 years later, General?
No.
And another thing that I've always wanted to know, this is my litmus test. I'm not tempting. But did you guys really eat peas with a knife?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
Did your army guys eat black-eyed peas with a knife, like the books say?
Of course they did.
Yeah, they had a curved knife. It looked like a fork. But in the books it goes, a little story I heard, General, was in grade school, that General Robert E. Lee went to some soldiers that weren't in his unit. He was just visiting. I guess the general does that, right, Mel?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, the general was in town at the army, and every soldier brought him some black-eyed peas, even though they barely had food. They all brought General Lee the best food they had, and he declined. And he did take a bowl, and then the soldier that he took the bowl from came back, and he was like honored because he took his offering. And he said, I gave General Lee them their peas because I had a plenty, but I didn't give him no knife. I'm going like, why don't you give him a spoon? But they had a weird utensil. My friend who's does the Civil War reenactments was showing me one of those. It looks like a wide butter knife with a kind of a curve to it.
Oh,
They used it kind of like a sport. They used it to, you could slice a piece of meat with it. You could eat almost anything with it. So the South had some very interesting war tools. I would like to do a show about that sometime. General, please be comfortable. Can we get you something to drink? A scotch? Let's get you comfortable, General Lee, because we're honored to have you here tonight.
Thank you very much, but I'm smoking my pipe right now and need to have a clear mind.
So you're fighting for your life? I didn't quite hear that.
No, I said I'm smoking my pipe.
Exactly. Yeah. General Lee, he smoked a pipe, didn't he? Well, General, we hope if you need to refill that pipe, we have something here, I'm sure. So we're going to get the best of General Lee right here tonight. So I'm just in awe. I don't know what to ask General Lee. So last time we did the show, he was coming out. I felt it. Like there was some passion. I always felt that Robert E. Lee was a wise beyond his. He was a wise man for the ages, and he didn't quite get the chance to have it help anybody or help as much as it should have.
Very much so.
I see him as a George Washington who should have been the president, a gentleman.